first thing that struck me about the new device was how light it was.
This new Kindle is beautiful. It's the first thing I noticed.
It's a really marked improvement on the Kindle I have. The most striking thing is obviously it's a lot smaller.
This is very modern looking. It's with the times. It's like a great graphite grey, sparkling graphite.
The thing that really sold me was the fact that I could sit there on the tube and I could actually turn the book one-handed.
The screen on the new Kindle is much clearer than on the previous generation. It doesn't look like electronic paper, it looks like paper on the new Kindle.
The contrast of the screen is fantastic. It's really easy to make out the content.
The thing that I love the most about the Kindle is how easy it is to read off of it.
You can actually just read it like a book. On a sunny day outside in the garden, doesn't make any difference.
This device feels fantastic. It almost disappears, when you're reading it.
I thought I was a book person, actually. You think that the physical artifact is what you're buying, but really what you're trying to buy is the words and the experience. And this is just such a faster access to that.
Book pricing on the Kindle store is good. It's better often than buying the physical book. I'd almost pay more for the convenience of that, so when it's less on the Kindle, it's like it's an extra bonus.
Much more streamlined. The way it fits into my hand, I love it.
It's very light, but it feels completely solid.
I love the color. I think it's just great.
You definitely don't need to be a gadget person to understand the Kindle or to enjoy it.
It's not complicated. It doesn't complicate my life.
It gives you a load of new advantages to reading. You've got all these books in the palm of your hand at any moment. You can flick between them instantly and you can throw them in your bag and bring them with you wherever you're going. But it doesn't take any of the magic away from reading.
You can just read it for hours and it won't ever strain your eyes.
The Kindle has fantastic battery life.
The battery life has been a big part of the experience, actually, because it means it's always accessible and I don't need to worry about plugging it in at night.
A 4-week battery life is just phenomenal.
The sample feature on the Kindle really allows you to be a much more varied reader. You don't feel like you're risking anything because you can just try anything.
The sample is the great way to say, let me read a chapter or half of a chapter to decide, do I want this?
I use the Kindle almost all the time now. I ride the bus to work. I use it on the treadmill at the gym. I read it on vacations at the beach or when I'm up in the mountains. I take it with me everywhere.
The one thing I always say is you'll read more if you have one of these.
The Kindle has completely changed the way that I read because it allows me to not only read more, but read different material. I can search for new things in different categories.
With the Amazon Kindle store, I can actually search for topics that are of interest to me, read reviews, and actually get a really good idea about what the book is like.
Oftentimes, even just being on Amazon's website, I'll see, read this on your Kindle in 60 seconds. And I'm like, oh, sweet. I will read this on my Kindle in 60 seconds.
When I was coming back from Australia, I was reading a book which is the first part of a trilogy. And I finished it in the departure lounge and downloaded the next one before I hopped on the plane. It was there in 60 seconds, exactly as described.
The download speed is amazing.
One thing I've used my Kindle for quite a bit is throwing documents onto it when I'm leaving in the morning. I had a period where I was trying to get a lot of work done on the train, and being able to just throw them onto the Kindle without really thinking about it was a really liberating thing.
The dictionary is brilliant.
I like that you've added the text-to-speech menus to the text-to-speech within the book.
Everyone always stops me and asks about the Kindle. People will see me with that and they're like, oh, is that the Amazon thing? And I'm like, yes, it's the Kindle.
I love the Kindle. I use it all the time and I recommend it to all my friends and family.
I love my Kindle.
I love my Kindle. It makes things much easier for me.
You just need to try one to just find out what a fantastic device it really is. It will change the way that you read books.